When teachers provide research and standards-aligned writing instruction, they support students' literacy learning. In this classroom, students are learning 2 different writing strategies.
So strategies are kind of the framework of the steps that help the writer through the writing process. So a strategy would be like in editing using the CAPS strategy or the TREE strategy when we're doing persuasive writing. So those would be some of the strategies we use as they work through the writing process. Today, students are going to be using the TREE strategy to write a persuasive letter. We're trying to persuade, in this lesson, a student who isn't getting outside enough and using this TREE strategy to help construct a persuasive letter. So something happened to me the other day, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I got an email from a friend of mine, and that friend of mine has a son that's about your age. I think he's 7, maybe he just turned 8. And his mom had a question for me. She emailed me, and I started to email her back an answer. And as I was emailing her, I kept thinking about you guys. So I thought that this was something we could talk about together. So I'm going to read you the email, and then we're going to talk about what I was thinking about. The email says, "Dear Mr. Phillips, I have a problem. Since you teach kids that are about the same age as Zeke, I wonder if you could help. I'm worried that Zeke is spending too much time indoors watching television and playing video games, and he never wants to go outside. When I ask him to turn off a screen and go outside, he says that there is nothing to do. He doesn't seem interested in playing outside, and often says that he is bored when he is outside and not on an electronic device. Can you convince Zeke to spend more time playing outside?" I was trying to persuade Zeke to go outside and play and get off his electronic devices. And that made me think of the writing strategy that we've talked about, our TREE. And that we could write a letter together to Zeke using our TREE strategy to help persuade him to go outside. I want to use our TREE to help me to write the letter. So on the TREE, to help me write my persuasive letter, the first part of the TREE, the T, is the tell. I'm going to tell why I think this is something that's important. I'm going to tell the reader why this is an important thing. I'm trying to persuade him, so I want to tell them. My topic sentence is telling him why it's important. Then I'm going to give reasons. 1, 2, 3 reasons. Reasons why I believe it's important. So we have to have 3 reasons why we think it's important for Zeke to go outside. Then we're going to end our letter. That's the E. So T-R-E, we're going to end our letter. So we're going to restate our topic, right? We're going to tell why that was important. And then our last E, because TREE is T-R-E-E, is we're going to examine what we did. So we have to look back and make sure that our letter has all of those important parts. If I wrote to Zeke and I said, "Stop playing on your technology," Zeke could probably read the letter and say, "No, I don't want to read the rest of this." But if I give him something that's interesting and I say it in a positive way, then he might want to continue reading. I might be able to persuade him that going outside is a good idea. So I'm going to take my tell. I'm telling him what I think. I'm telling him that I think playing outside is fun and important, and I'm going to put it on my letter. So here's the first part of our letter. Playing outside is fun and important. Now I need 3 reasons. I have to give some reasons that it's important to play outside. What are things or reasons that we can use to persuade or convince Zeke that he should go outside more often? I want you to turn and talk to somebody next to you, and I'm going to give you maybe about 30 seconds to talk quietly and just come up with as many of those reasons as you can. Ready? Get a plan in your head, think about some reasons, and turn and share. Ready? Go. So first, explain the strategy, how we're going to use it, the why we're doing it, and how it's going to help them as writers, what it's used for, and why we're going to use it. Then I model how to use the strategy for the kids, show them what I want them to do or how they're going to use it, and then we gradually release so that we do it in a small group if they still need some support, or in a little bit larger group, and then get to the point where the kids can use it independently in their writing. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 reasons that I can add to my letter. So one that I heard a lot of people say is being outside helps you be active and healthy. I heard a lot of people talking about being healthy. I began my letter positively, right? I didn't tell him to stop doing something. I tried to put it in a positive way. Let's read the letter. Dear Zeke, playing outside is fun and important. Being outside helps you be active and healthy. You can use your imagination. Playing outside is a fun way to get exercise. I hope you have as much fun as I do. Then I'm going to have to sign my letter at the end. Okay. So let's examine this. Do I have a tell? Give me a thumbs up if you see a tell. Thumbs down if you're not quite sure. Do I have a tell? Let's see. I'm going to put my tell. Who can show me where my tell is on my letter? Belle, you want to come up and stick this next to where the tell is? Okay. Okay. Now I have 3 reasons. Who can come up and put 1 reason up? Max, you want to put a reason up? Karina, you want to put a reason up? Kylie, you want to put a reason up? You have bookmarks. You'll have bookmarks with a tree on it, and then it tells you all of these things. The tell what you believe, state a topic with your opinion. The reasons, provide 3 reasons. Why do you believe this? End it, so you're wrapping it up, and examine it. Do I have all the parts? And they're in different colors. So one thing you can do to check your letter before you're ready to publish it is you can go through and you can examine doing these things. So one thing that we can do is we can underline to make sure where each part is. So I have Dear Zeke, playing outside is fun and important. And I'm going to take a green marker because it's green on here. And I'm going to have somebody come and underline the tell. Who can come and underline all the parts of the tell? Mariah, you want to try?
Yeah.
So watch Mariah and make sure she's underlined the tell part. Give Mariah a thumbs up if you think that she underlined the tell. Looks like everybody agrees with you. So we're going to go back and we're going to practice this. So we're going to write a persuasive letter. You can either write a persuasive letter to Zeke if you want, or you can write a persuasive letter to your councilman, again, if there's anything else at the park that you want to persuade them to do. So make sure you're checking your bookmark, going through each of the parts, and making sure that you include it so that it's a powerful writing and that you persuade somebody to do what you're thinking. So this is our CAPS anchor chart, so the capitalization, appearance, punctuation, and spelling we use to at the end of the writing process to help us edit. When we're modeling it and we use the anchor chart, the kids can look at it and refer to it and see it as we're using it. So we leave those up so that they can go back to the anchor chart later and refer to it, and it can kind of give them a little bit of a refresher so that it's up in the room and they can constantly kind of think, well, when I get to the end of my piece, I need to be able to edit, and this is something that can help me with editing. We have bookmarks that they use so that whatever the strategy they're using, they can refer to it and make sure that they're using it the correct way and why they're using it. So they always have that right at their hands and their fingertips. They don't have to get up and walk around to find it, it's right with their writing. Every week, we send home a newsletter, and this week I wrote the newsletter and was getting ready to send it home, and I looked at it one more time because I was thinking of the CAPS strategy, and I thought I better go through and I better make sure that it's edited and it looks perfect before I send it home. And when I started to use that strategy, I noticed that there were lots of mistakes. So I looked and I went back and I thought about the CAPS. I thought about, did I capitalize? Is the appearance good? Did I use punctuation? Is there spelling correct? And I thought this was the perfect strategy for me to use at the end of my writing before I publish it and send it out. So we're going to today, you're going to help me fix up some of the mistakes I made. We can use this strategy anytime we're writing when we get done to go back and make sure that our writing is the best that we can make it. On your clipboard, you have a bookmark that says CAPS to help you with what those things are. And I blew up the section of the newsletter so that you could see it better, and it's up here. So I want you to work with your partner next to you and look at the writing that I have, the newsletter, and you're going to go through and you're going to use your bookmark and you're going to help me edit this. So first you're going to work on it together, then you're going to give me your ideas, and I'll fix it on the screen so that before we send it home today, that it's all fixed up and looks perfect. you can go through and you can start with the C, find anything that needs to be capitalized, and then work right through your bookmark. So the great part about them not only learning the strategy, but using it later on in their writing, they can refer back to. They have the bookmark to refer to, but they have the strategies and an idea of what they want to accomplish as writers as they go, so that they know what strategy, depending if they're doing persuasive writing or how-to writing, or if they're editing, that they know that there's a strategy that can aid them in making sure that their piece is the best that they can make it. So let's look through, and we're looking right now only with our eyes to capitalize. So if you see any mistakes that I need to capitalize. So let's start reading. If you see anything, then raise your hand when I get to that point, and I'll stop and we can fix it. Okay, ready? You're invited to, that was pretty quick. We got one. Bella, you think you got a mistake already?
Whenever you write a sentence, you always have to have the first letter of your first sentence capitalized.
So what word do I need to fix in this first sentence?
Your.
I need to make it a capital Y. Please join us on Thursday, March 30th. Kaylee.
Thursday it has to be capitalized.
Why does Thursday have to be capitalized?
Because it's a proper name of a day.
It's the name of the day, so we have to make sure that any proper noun, any proper name of something is a capital. So I'm going to fix that so that we can make sure we polish up our piece. So now we're going to move on to the appearance. For this one, I just want you to look at it and see, when you look at it, is there anything you would fix? Is there anything with the appearance of this that just doesn't quite look right when you're reading through it? Chris?
They put a big space like between but it's continuing, like the sentences are continuing.
So that's the middle of a sentence. There shouldn't be a big space in the middle is what you're saying. So we're going to need to fix that to make it look right, to polish it up and make it look better. So that's a good idea Chris has, that we're going to do that. We use this strategy at the end of our writing. So I'm going to give you some times, and I want you to think about if it would be a good time for us to use this strategy. Okay? I wrote some down when I was thinking. So if I'm a newspaper reporter and I write a draft and I'm getting ready to put it in the newspaper, would this be a strategy that that newspaper reporter could use? Yeah. Would that be a time that they could use it?
Yeah.
Who can tell me what they think? Mariah, what do you think?
I think they could use it if, like, they didn't really know how, they didn't really know they could, that they didn't really know how to spell that.
That would be a good time?
So good.
You would want to make sure it's polished up before you put it in the newspaper and all those people read it, right?
Yeah.
What about if I had my own company, like Kaylee wrote to the landscape company, and I was going to put it on my website? Would I want to use the strategy before I put it on the website for people to read? Yes. Karina, what do you think?
Yes.
Why do you think that would be a good idea?
Because if you were about to put it on your website or something, you might have a mistake.
And you wouldn't want people to look at your website and think that it had mistakes. You would want people to want to come to your company, right? When they have the strategy, their writing becomes much more focused, much more powerful, much more interesting to read, and much more on topic. So as a teacher, my goal is always for my students to be independent learners and independent workers, and giving them these strategies and learning these strategies helps them take ownership and become that kind of independent learner where they're regulating themselves and they're monitoring what they're doing and keeping track of their own thoughts and their own writing.
Learn more at literacyessentials.org.